Hello, Gemini. Healing Grasshopper here to do your solar eclipse reading in Aries that will be happening on April 8th. So solar eclipse energy brings in like sudden and new changes in one's life. Um, and well, it doesn't necessarily need to be sudden. Sometimes it's sudden, but kind of a noticeable new change in your life. And the energies of eclipses can start brewing anywhere from 2 weeks to a full month before the eclipse, and the effects linger for several months after. So, can be like 6, 8 months after. So, if you are picking this up after the eclipse, it still applies to you. Um, so, Let's see what the notes from the beginning of the year said. I did a yearly reading and I did the highlights of the energies for the year, and I did discuss the solar eclipse, and I promised that I would remind everyone of the energies as they approach, and here I am doing it. So, from my notes, it says, time to clean house in the area of relationships of all kinds. Toxicity in your social life will be highlighted in this energy, and you will be able to clearly see what and who needs to be cut out of your life with plenty of support in making it as quick and painless as possible. Onward and upward, Gemini. Clearing out toxicity. Okay? So, um, you're not alone, Gemini. A lot of people have been doing this throughout the year, but for you, this is going to be highlighted by this solar eclipse. So some of these toxic relationships you may be vaguely aware of, but haven't yet come to the full realization that you need to discard the relationship yet. Um, and I feel you. I've been there quite recently. Um, and it's always nice to have support from the universe when doing this because, you know, ending relationships can be painful. And by relationships, I don't just mean romantic. I mean, a lot of you, it's going to be platonic. And for many of you, it may even be family members. Do not discount the family members. Just because you share blood does not mean that you need to tolerate their toxicity in your life. Hierophants. See, this totally talks about what I was just saying. The Hierophant talks about the things in your life that are stable, that you give your energy to, your obligation to, like your uncle Harry that has always been in your life that's really toxic. Um, but and that you've grown up with the full family expectation of you tolerating them because everyone tolerates him and you're expected to tolerate him, you know. Hierophants. Yeah, things that are expected of you. But the Hierophant can carry somewhat of the devil energy where, you know, the Hierophant can often be an illusion. Like, yeah, sure, society tells you that you should be doing this, but should you? Is this really, is your heart telling you that this is good for you? Or is it just society that's telling you that you're supposed to, no, that you're supposed to be doing this, whatever it is? What just came to mind too is I'm Catholic, the whole, Lent, giving things up for Lent thing, which I always thought was so dumb. Like, what do you mean I can't have a burger? It's Friday, so what? Like, like I hated things like that, that you unnecessary rules and that kind of thing. That's the Hierophants. You should do this. Seven of Cups in this context is talking about your choices, because the Hierophant very much talks about a lack of choices. And then you have the Seven of Cups here right next to it saying you do have choices. You don't have to follow what the Hierophant tells you. F the Hierophants. you know? The Hierophant's word only has value if you allow it to, or if it resonates with you. That doesn't mean that you should always reject the Hierophants. Sometimes the Hierophant has wisdom, but in this context, that's not it. This is, you know, input from outside of you that dictating to you what you should and should not be doing. And no, reversed, no. Okay, yeah, Eight of Cups. This is you saying "F this." I'm not dealing with this BS anymore. I don't know. It's talking with letters, abbreviations all the time. By the way, I'm a New Yorker. I'm itching to say the real words, but YouTube doesn't like it, so I have to clean it up. The Tower. Yeah. The Tower is the astrological energy that you are moving into that is forcing you to really deal with the Hierophants, whatever it is. And by forcing you, it's going to feel like, you just cannot tolerate it anymore. It's just bothering you to the point where you're like, no, no more of this. There's no placating and tolerating and staying quiet in a tower moment. You're like, I cannot take this anymore. I will not take this anymore. I'm done. The Knight of Pentacles is you moving away from this, but in a sensible way. The Knight of Pentacles is very, very sensible. He's not like the Knight of Swords. It's like rushing and, not thinking about consequences. He's just go, 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 do, do, do. No. Knight of Pentacles is very conscientious and you know, cautious and careful about what he does and thinks about everything that he does before he does it. Just like a Gemini. You guys are very thoughtful about things. Yes, this is you. Ace of Cups. The Spirit is saying, follow your heart. Your heart is going to lead you out of this tower chaos. Ten of Swords. Yeah, done. The toxicity is done. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, and yes, this line is very telling. You got the Seven of Cups, the Tower, Eight of Swords. This is uh, Spirit telling you you have plenty of choices. You don't have to conform to the Hierophant's rules. The Tower is that energy that I'm talking about where you're fed up. And the Eight of Swords is, you're fed up, but you don't quite see the choices that Spirit is telling you you have. But you will. What did I say about the Knight of Swords? Look at the Knight of Swords under the Knight of Pentacles. Wow. Yeah. But it fits very well here with the rest of these swords, where you're like, the damage is done. You're not quite sure how to deal with it. But in this tower moment, you're like, oh, yes, I know what to do. Here, chop, 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 not violently, obviously, but figuratively in your life, you're like, okay, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it now. So, there's kind of a balance between, cautious and thoughtfulness and acting, doing, and knowing exactly what you need to do. And hurrying up and doing it and not hesitating to execute it. This is telling a person to get the F out of your life. In the right way, too, because he's upright. If he was reversed, then I'd be like, be careful what you say. You're going to be sorry later. And no, this is you saying what you need to say. And not all of it's going to be nice and pretty. Emperor. Emperor. It's so perfect. The Emperor is your outcome here. This is you being perfectly sure, confident in your actions, and knowing, this is you like, in the tower moment when you're like, oh, what? I don't know what to do. To you right away being like, oh, yes, I do know what to do. And you being very confident about your choice, the Emperor. And from where I'm sitting, the Emperor almost looks like he's looking in this direction. He's looking backward like, yep, I did that. You know, I did it. I showed them the door and I'm happy. And I'm not looking back. So let's see. More tarot? No more tarot. We're going straight to advice. Okay. Any of these? Okay. Higher. Gemini, onward and upward. Like I said in my notes. This is you yanking the tooth and the relief that you have after the tooth comes out. Like, oh, thank God. I'm rid of that tooth already. That rotten tooth. Spirits. Two cards. Okay. There's one. Hmm, okay. Happiness. What did I say? After you yank the tooth, you're moving towards your happiness. And the emperor is absolutely sure of this. He knows what he needs to make himself happy. Balance, which is perfect between the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords here that I just put down and put this in between. And look at the Ace of Cups is in between. That's the Ace of Cups is what's balancing the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. The caution and the holding back and the sudden, rapid action. This is your heart telling you in what dose and what measure you need to take in every step in this situation. Balance is what the Ace of Cups brings. And this is help from the universe. This is love from the universe. And this is a like consolation from the universe and understanding from the universe. And this reminds me of another reading. There's another reading that I did somewhat recently that had a little bit of the same message where it was like the universe understands. It's like, I know this is painful for you. I know this is aggravating you. And for some of you, it's kind of sad to walk away from this person, but this is what you need. Don't worry. You're moving towards your happiness, right? Oh, okay. That's the reading. Okay, Gemini. Onward and upward are your key words here. Clearing out the toxicity again. Okay? I love you, Geminis. I'll speak to you soon. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. I respond to every single comment. I enjoy hearing from you. Like and subscribe, please. It means a lot to me. I'll speak to you soon. Love, light, and many blessings.